We need to remember that everything we see is affected by light. With no light, we can't see anything. But as soon as we add a light, we have a light side to the sphere. This would be like observing a planet in space. We can also clearly see there is a line created as the form turns away from the light. This is called the terminator, because effectively, this is the dividing line between light and dark. Anything past the terminator cannot be seen by this light. However, if we place the object on a ground plane, we suddenly have a lot more information. With the ground plane visible, we now see bounce light up to the base of the sphere. This bounce light also creates the core shadow. The core shadow is still the darkest part of the sphere, but it's not a part of the terminator line, because the terminator line, you can still clearly see, is where the light and dark sides are separated. The core shadow is just the darkest part where light has not affected it yet. We also see that a cast shadow is created. Watch what happens as we adjust the color of the ground plane, and the entire sphere is illuminated more brightly. Objects are affected on what ground planes they sit on. This would also apply to the color of the ground plane, as well as the color of its surrounding environment. As we adjust the black background to a more light blue color, you can see that it affects the shadow as well, because now the ambient light from the environment is affecting both the core shadow and the cast shadow. However, one place that is totally unaffected still is right below the sphere, and this is called ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is effectively where light cannot reach. For example, when two forms directly overlap, two forms are touching each other, creases, places where it's just too difficult for light to get in. In summary, the most important thing to determine when rendering anything is your light source. The light source is going to determine the terminator and the cast shadow. The ground plane is going to affect bounce light, and the environment is going to affect the color of your shadows and the brightness of them.